I have an ebook that is on Amazon called Obsessions and Exorcisms in the Work of Joyce Carol Oates. And I'm just going to read here from the table of contents about what is in that book. The first chapter is From Masochistic Provocation to Violent Retaliation, the Rape Victim in Joyce Carol Oates. Actually, a title probably should be The Sex Crime Victim in Joyce Carol Oates, because the chapter deals with victims of sexual molestation as well as victims of actual rape. Okay, now it discusses her profound sympathy with feminism and her accusations that criticism of the amount of violence in her work is sexist in light of the depictions of victim-precipitated crimes, especially sex crimes, in that writing. Links this theme with Oates's attempts to synthesize literary modes and her belief in a communal consciousness, examines how she has evolved away from victim precipitation in her depictions of sex crimes and into portrayals of retaliation. Chapter 2, White Trash in the Works of Joyce Carol Oates, deals with Oates's portrayal of poor whites, focusing on the novels A Garden of Earthly Delights, Them, and Because It Is Bitter and Because It Is My Heart. Explores her depictions of the particular identification problems of lower-class whites who are alienated from whites of higher income levels as well as from the poor of different races. Discusses her depictions of their special advantage in being able to leave their despised white trash identities behind through economic advancements. Chapter 3, African Americans in the Works of Joyce Carol Oates, discusses the relative lack of African American characters in her works and the frequency with which those African American men who do appear are portrayed as physically and or sexually threatening to white women. Because It Is Bitter and Because It Is My Heart, Oates's first novel in which much of the story is told from the viewpoint of African American characters, is examined at length. Chapter 4, Art and Artists in the Art of Joyce Carol Oates, discusses how Oates's portrayal of artists reveal the psychological hazards as well as the rewards of the creative life, explores the dissonance between the demands of art and Oates's belief in communal consciousness, demonstrates how Oates's depictions of apparently ordinary characters are often metaphorically about art and artists. Chapter 5, Sex and Morbidity, Sex as Salvation, the Connections in Joyce Carol Oates, details how Oates has explored the links between the sexual and the morbid, the romantic and the violent. This chapter discusses how romantic love and orgasmic release lead to a psychological liberation in Oates's novel, Do With Me What You Will. Okay, I hope maybe some of you might be interested in my ebook, Obsessions and Exorcisms in the Work of Joyce Carol Oates. It's at Amazon.